Alright, I'm going to be showing you 3 common bad habits that I see in lower level matchmaking in Faucet that is messing up your aim. It doesn't matter how much you're practicing your aim if you don't know how to use it properly. So watch this video to the end to see how you can rank up your gameplay. Shout out to Wilson CS2 for this video idea, baby. Check him out. The first mistake I see people doing super commonly is committing to a spray at every single range. So while you're obviously going to want to spray someone up close like this guy and this guy, it may be better for you to be tapping at these longer ranges for people like this. This is something that Nothing talked a lot about during his career. Now, the range at which you should start tapping and what range you should start spraying is going to be different for each person and how good you are at controlling your spray. But even if you do have 100% spray accuracy, there is a level of bloom to it. So there is always going to be a right range where you should tap at. This is what players like Scream specialize in. I remember when I first got into CS, I wanted to be spraying at every single angle, practicing my spray control daily. And that's good, you should practice your spray control, but it's not right for every situation and you have to get that out of your head to start building the right habit. You can do this by just practicing in a workshop map like this by tapping at the people at longer range and spraying at the people up close. Just trying to be mindful of when you want to tap and when you want to spray. You can also do this in deathmatch before you go into your matches and stuff. It just helps you be that much more mindful when going into your games. The second bad habit that I see super frequently is someone committing to the exact same spot when they're in an engagement. So that could just look like someone peeking this corner and tapping at one person, staying crouched, and just spraying at whoever they can find in front of them. But in a game like Counter-Strike, you want to give yourself every opportunity, every slight advantage that you can over your opponents. And one big way to do that a lot of people overlook is by utilizing your movement. If you learn how to spray for 10 bullets, readjust a little to your right or a little to your left and start tapping or going for another spray, I promise you, you will become a better player really quickly and start ranking up. This is something even level 8s, level 9s, sometimes level 10s neglect, and they can get away with it for a long time because of their bad aim, but ultimately you're going to plateau and you want to be able to give yourself every competitive advantage that you can in game, and this starts with maximizing your movement. The third and final bad habit is not warming up properly. Odds are, if you're a fan of content like this, you already have a warm-up routine. And a lot of these warm-ups are really good for honing in your aim, but that neglects 50% of what Counter-Strike is. One, I see people going for like very precise shots like this, just going for like 1,000 kills or something like that. And while that can be good, something you want to make sure you're doing is sometimes just bringing out the op, making sure you have a full range of motion on every single shot that you're going for. So that way there's really no action in game that you're not going to be warmed up for. If you warm up before you get into your game and you're only warming up one taps, that's all you're going to be warm for in game. You're not going to be warm for any of your spraying, none of your movement's going to be warmed up. So you want to make sure that you're using a bunch of different pistols, the Glock, the USPS. You're going to want to use the Deagle, the op, everything that you might be using in game to make sure that you're warmed up with that specific weapon, because ultimately all these weapons act differently and you have to play with them a different way. So of course you're going to have to warm up for each of them in a unique manner. A big part that people aren't even thinking about is warming up their movement. This can be done through just a good B-hop server, making sure you have smooth, fluid movements. My personal favorite is on this map, going to movements and then going to KZ. This feels more practical and relatable to what in-game will actually feel like. It's just nailing the easy jumps that you don't want to be missing, such as the Mirage window jump. Maps like these do a good job at implementing stuff like ladder movement that often gets overlooked in people's games. This forces you to be a well-rounded player and helps make sure that you're ready for whatever's thrown your way when you get in game. A lot of people think that good aim is all about just practicing your aim over and over and over again. And while that is an important part, and while of course you should be practicing your spray control, what often gets overlooked is warming up the rest and practicing the jiggle peaks, all the little movements that go into making a well-rounded competitive player. killing bots is going to be more fun than doing a KZ server, but you can only put it off for so long. So I recommend that you start now and you start winning more games than you are currently. All right, thanks for watching this video, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. Let me know if there's any more tips that you want to see. Peace.